Hey guys, on this episode, we've got a really special treat. One of my favorite people in the world, as well as my partner on BootcampMD, Dr. Maiysha Clairborne, is joining us. We're going to talk about our reflections of that incredible conference that we had, our plans for 2020, as well as maybe a sneak peek of what's coming up in Bootcamp 3. Yes, it's going to happen in 2020. You won't want to miss it. We're also going to be talking about how you can get your hands on the recordings of Bootcamp MD. It's all coming up next on this episode of Bootstrap MD. Hey guys, it's Dr. Mike Wu-Ming. Welcome to another episode of Bootstrap MD. This is going to be another fun podcast. If you've been listening or watching our podcast, you know this guest. She's my most frequent guest on there. You guys can't get enough of her. I can't get enough of her. Dr. Maiysha Clairborne.
What's up, Dr. Mike? My favorite doc on the block.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'm gonna keep you on that. If you don't know, if you're new to this, she's an integrative family physician. She's a founder of Stress Free Mom MD. She's the founder of Next Level Physician Entrepreneurs Institute. She's my partner at Bootcamp MD, where we help physicians and other healthcare professionals get started and thrive in their own businesses with an emphasis on online businesses. And Maiysha, how you been doing?
It's been, it has been a whirlwind since our Bootcamp MD 2.0 live in October. It was amazing. And I've been doing great. I mean, since we last talked, my son turned 5. Oh. And I had like 32 people in my house. And
do you know these people?
I did know these people. I did.
Okay, good.
I celebrated my year anniversary for the mastermind that I started last year for physicians, entrepreneurs. And, it's been amazing. And by the way, you have, and I know we're going to talk about this, but you have inspired me to even create my own event. So I can't wait to share about that. But I want to thank you, first of all, publicly, for that. I think it really came from that very first time back in San Diego when you launched that first Bootcamp MD. And I really I kind of sat in the back of the room and watched it. And I was like, we need this in Atlanta. And then you were open and allowed me to be part of that process. And that I think you've helped me to grow and learn. And so now that I can, we can continue to do our thing with Bootcamp MD Live 3.0.
3.0. Oh,
that's right.
Well, you're already giving it away already. But
Spoiler alert.
Awesome.
So Spoiler alert. My bad.
Pat myself on the back. And two, you also started your own podcast as well.
That's right. That was a big topic in Bootcamp MD 2.0, wasn't it?
Right.
Yes, Next Level Physicians thriving outside the box. Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, of course, helping as many people as you can. So we're going to talk about that. I know you've got an event coming up that I definitely want to share with my listeners on here. But I want to talk about Bootcamp MD 2 and just kind of like your thoughts about it. I know we've talked about it in the past, and now it's been a month or two since we've had it. What are kind of your reflections of that event? Maybe things that you could share for the people who may have come, or maybe some feedback that you have had from maybe some of our students who are there as well.
Well, I think one of the biggest feedbacks that I got from the students is how important it is to come together with people of like minds. I mean, they learned a ton. And, a couple of my now clients, we're so grateful that they actually were able to come and hear all of our various speakers, Dr. Nana Corsad, Dr. John Jerica, you, me, Eric Tate, all of us that came and kind of graced the stage. But I think what was even more impactful was that they got, not only did they get to sit down with us and get to really commune with us. And I think that was part of one of the favorite things that they liked about it. One of the biggest feedbacks I got is that we were not untouchable. We were very accessible to them, but also that they got to connect with each other and really bond with each other as well. And I think that's the importance of having something like this, because, there are a lot of physicians who are jumping into the world of entrepreneurship And we're kind of an isolated bunch anyway. So then you're already out there, you're thinking you're doing this all alone, and you're thinking you have to do it all by yourself. And then there's an event like this. And
Yeah,
you realize,
yeah.
yeah.
And it is different, and it is, you're going into something where you're taking yourself out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but anytime when I would go to a physician conference, it would usually be, kicking and screaming. It's
Right,
usually
right.
going to it. I
Right.
need to fulfill some type of CME
Mm-hmm.
requirements, or I need to attend this for some certification course, or
Mm-hmm.
study for a course like that on there. And this workshop was obviously different. I mean, we focused on not just learning from the speakers, but learning from your fellow students. Why are you here? Let's get together. Let's form an accountability
Mm-hmm.
partner. We formed our own little Facebook group on there. Let's connect
Mm-hmm.
with these folks. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing, is not just, listen to me drone on and teach us some strategies, but, connect with your other students,
Yeah.
and I make it a point to invest in myself, to
Mm-hmm.
invest in my businesses, and connect with these folks. Because, as you know, being an entrepreneur, we always have our ups and downs, right?
Right.
And having the ability, we belong to a mastermind, and just like, hey, here I'm launching this. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
Or something simple like, hey, what are you using for your processing? How's
Mm-hmm.
Infusionsoft going for you? How's ClickFunnels going for you? Those kinds
Mm-hmm.
of things. That's when you're going to connect. Like you said, being a physician can be lonely. Being a physician entrepreneur can even be more lonely
Yeah.
in here. And especially for myself, who by nature I'm an introverted person, and
Me too.
getting I don't know about that, but I don't know about
For
that.
real though.
Right. But getting out and doing it. And that's what I enjoyed, for is having that. So, so Bootcamp MD too. Well, anything else that you wanted to share about that event?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I want to share is that, even us as speakers, we learn and we grow and we expand. Case in point, from the first one, I learned and I grew. I learned about what you talked about, affiliate marketing. I just got a new sense of what I could potentially do. From the second one, I realized I could actually speak for 4 hours in a row. That was new for me. Most people
Yeah.
might not have realized that. And so I think, those people who are in the audience who have a desire to speak, or a desire to do something like this, could be on the stage at some point, just like that's what happened with Dr. Nana Corsai.
Right. Right.
When you have a story to tell, it's important to go for it. And I think also one other thing I just want to say, and then I'll quit about it, is, you talked about investing in yourself. And I know that there's been questions, oh, do you offer CME? You should offer CME. And in our world, there's this thing about conferences where we don't want to go if they're not offering CME. But the thing about something like this, when you're stepping in the world of entrepreneurship, you want to be willing to invest in personal development because of your commitment to something different, your commitment to taking it to the next level. It's beyond CME, especially if you're trying to step out of the world of clinical medicine anyway. And so people in the outside world, they don't invest in personal development because they're going to get something back. They invest in it for their own commitment, for their own self. And that's what I want to kind of bring across in our world, that we should be modeling.
Right. Right. And I actually, I've actually investigated, should I have my conference CME? I know that can draw more folks to doing it, but, looking and talking with my students and some of my partners about this, with CME, it will limit what we could actually share. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with conferences, but as you know, anytime you go to a CME conferences, you have to disclose what you can share. You have to disclose what relationships that you had. And not saying that there were issues on this, but it's all about being authentic.
Right.
If I'm going to say, hey, if I see you sign up for something and you purchase this, I don't know, software in there, and I say, you know what, that's a pretty crappy software that you do.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to feel free to actually say that,
Absolutely.
there. And I kind of make, if you remember, I kind of make a little bit of joke about it.
Yes, I
It's
loved it.
not,
It was funny.
uh, why we're not CME thing, but things could change. We might decide later on in doing it. But if you really want to learn from someone, just like, hey, this is being true to ourselves. This is what we can recommend. This is what we do. We can, what we don't, based upon our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I loved about creating BootcampMD. So yeah, thanks for reminding me on that.
Yeah.
So we're talking about it, and if you didn't come to BootcampMD, and shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. You have the ability to listen to and watch the entire recordings like you were sitting there just right next to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be announcing that very, very soon, just about to launch that. And so be on the lookout for that. It's the BootcampMD course. Takes you everything you need to know about growing and thriving in your own online business. So be on the lookout for that. And I want to talk about, kind of shifting gears, is you mentioned that I helped influence you in starting your own workshop or event, which I think you could have done on your own, but if I was able to push you in the right direction, then that's great. But tell me about this new conference that you have coming up, I believe, in February of next year.
February the 1st, yeah. So, one of the half day, the VIP day at the BootcampMD Live, I focused on mindset. And, I was just talking with you before the show, one of the things that I was listening to a podcast, and one of the things that I've been feeling and thinking and even getting feedback on is that there is not enough focus on mindset and shifting mindset. And even the stuff that we do talk about in mindset is very top level, surface level stuff, like, do your affirmations. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes you got to get a little bit deeper into the thought processes and the language that you use to be able to have the tools to reprogram your own brain. So this retreat is called the Mind Remapping and Manifestation Retreat. And for those of you who do not know, like, as most people know, I coach in entrepreneurship and business, helping doctors and medical professionals start virtual business, so location independent businesses, whether it's coaching, consulting, online businesses. But, I love mindset, and I am a certified trainer of neurolinguistic programming and of hypnosis and a technique called timeline therapy. So what neurolinguistic programming is, for those of you who do not know, it's the process of using language as an access to reprogramming our thoughts, our beliefs, and our behavior patterns from the core. And, as a family doc trained, I'm all about getting to the root cause of what's stopping you. And so this retreat is specifically designed to do that, to address the root cause of the mindset issues through language. And it's an access, it's sort of a prelude to something else that I'm creating, which I'll share with you another podcast.
Oh, okay, all right, I got it.
Yes, and then that's called pre-framing or predictive programming. But yeah, so there's a lot of linguistic, a lot of times we say things, and I shared an example with you before, but I'll share it even on the show, right? So a lot of times I hear when I'm talking to my docs, I want to start a business, but I have no experience. And what you hear, that there's a but is the conjunction, and I want to start a business at the beginning and I have no experiences at the end. Well, what but does is put the focus on I have no experience. It puts the focus on the end. By changing one little word, you can actually shift what part of the sentence your brain focuses on and be empowered by that. So I'm going to shift, I'm going to say it differently. I want to start a business and I have no experiences. So what that does is it kind of puts it on equal playing field, but it feels different, right?
Right.
So then what if we say, I want to start a business even though I have no experience? Mm-hmm. It puts the focus on the former. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't, even though you have no experience, it's not like an exclusionary right. An exclusionary point to you starting a business. You're just saying, even though I don't have an experience, I do want to start a business. And then the mind starts to tick and think, what is it did I need to do then to get that experience, to get that guidance? And so that's just one frame, one little aspect of what we're going to be teaching in the conference, how to linguistically start to shift, get to the root cause, and linguistically start to shift your language and reprogram your mind to be able to produce the kind of results that you want in your business, in your life.
So when you became a trainer, I'm just being curious, how did you actually go down that path of training? Was that to help your own patients? Was it for yourself? I assume those weren't also CME courses as well. So
not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But, and then how, just taking that, how has that been helpful for you in your success in business?
Well, so I originally heard of hypnosis and NLP. I had a friend who was a hypnotherapist. And I have to tell you, I was skeptical at first. I was like, how does that stuff work? Like most of us doctors would be, right? And then I was in a retreat that I was actually holding, and he was a guest, and he was doing a hypnosis demo. He took the whole room down. He didn't do it, on purpose, but just by proxy, he's like, we were all, falling asleep. And it was very empowering. And I thought, oh, this is a skill, And so fast forward maybe a couple of years later, I'm already coaching patients in stress management, in, their nutrition, their diet, their lifestyle choices. And it occurred to me that maybe I could be getting even more pronounced results, even more breakthrough results, if I had this skill of neurolinguistic program. I had been reading about it a little bit, researching. So that's when that was back in 2013 or 2012 that I went and got trained initially. And it did help me. It helped me to reframe my language. And then I started noticing as I was speaking different, things were showing up different. And that's what had me go do the master practitioner training, which at the moment that I did that, and I did the breakthrough session for myself. So in our training, we have to do these breakthrough sessions for ourselves. And I got in my second training, my master practitioner training, I was already thinking about transitioning my career. And I was sort of like in the space of, well, I could do that someday in the future.
Right.
And I got the limiting decisions that were holding me back from doing it now. And once I released those, within a month of that, I took my first $4,000 coaching client as a physician coach. And within 10 months of that, I transitioned out of clinical medicine.
Wow.
So it was a result of that breakthrough session that had me go from, I'll start my business sometime in 2018, 2019, which I would have missed out on, multiple six figures if I had done that, to, and freedom and time with my son and, like that sort of thing, to, wow, now I'm doing this. And again, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do things with you, to do all this that we're doing now, if I had not done that breakthrough session. So it was a life changer.
That's incredible. And what always struck me too is, I've, in my experience with NLP and this is, just at the beginning when reading in medical school, I was reading Tony Robbins in addition to Principles of Internal Medicine. And I heard, Tony Robbins had been doing NLP training, and then understanding just in how powerful that can be, and how just kind of the negative talk that inside of like, you can't do it, you're not, you don't have an MBA, why are you doing that? And how we have these self-defeating, self-limiting beliefs, and how it ends up seeing as, well, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I launch this a few years ago? And it's the language, and I think you really hit it on the head. It's that language, just like you said, one word, this one word can change from inaction to action, and how it just kind of holds us down. But I know that, understanding, and obviously I'm not as experienced as you and being a practitioner in this. I know how it's helped in not only my business, how it helps with my relationships, how it helps in terms of like sales. NLP is very
Oh,
important.
yes,
As,
definitely in
you know,
sales.
I'm going through your course right now on sales, and how you've used that is,
Mhm.
how I feel that it's almost effortlessly sometimes, how you do it. Um, Going to a course like this, how it can be effective. So who would you think is the ideal person? Who would get the most out of going to this conference?
Well, so who we're targeting as our medical professionals, doctors, dentists, pharmacists, medical professionals. We're probably even going to have some non-medical people there. I'm hearing some attorneys are interested. So that's cool too. But who are wanting to either start their own business, or they're stopped in the way of their entrepreneurship, who are stopped in some area of life in their career, and they want to break through those negative conversations that they know it's mindset, they know it's some kind of negative stop. Or maybe you're getting stopped in the same place over and over again, and you can't seem to figure out why. You'll get so far, you'll make so much progress, and then you hit a wall, and it's always the same wall, and you
Right.
can't figure out, well, how do I get over this hump? This is the retreat for you, because we really get underneath the root cause of some of those conversations. And Mike, you were talking about how there is this negative self-talk. And here's the thing people don't understand, and this is why affirmations are so limiting, is that, and I say that with all respect for affirmations, by the way, but until you deal with the root cause, a lot of times these conversations come from way back in childhood. There's something that happened, that we made a decision about ourselves. And then we spent our lives collecting evidence for that decision with other happenings. But the truth is, we made up that decision. And so what we do is, through NLP, is we begin to unpack that and recontextualize those types of experiences, so that you have freedom from that stuff in the past that's holding you back from the future. So that is what this retreat's all about, is like really digging into that. Now, this is one thing because I know we can be really, we can feel very ambivalent about wanting to share ourselves and share too much stuff. This is a content-free space, meaning you're not going to have to talk about what happened in childhood. This is not that kind of thing. This is not therapy in that way. This is a space where you can go in and you can access that information, and then we take you through processes to recontextualize it. We also, in this particular retreat, we understand why, we explain why that works. So it's happening February 1st. Here in Atlanta. Actually, it's in Braselton, Georgia, which is just north of Atlanta. We're doing it at the Chateau Elan. Ooh, we're trying to get a little fancy. If you want to come up the Friday night, we have special room rates, and then it starts bright and early, 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. We feed you for lunch. We're feeding you for breakfast. We're feeding you for lunch. We're not going to feed you for dinner, but you can join us for dinner. And then we have a VIP brunch for a little one-on-one time. I'm actually doing it with Dr. Manny St. Victor. He's going to be the person who's doing it with me. And so you'll get some one-on-one time with me and Dr. Manny on Sunday if you want to upgrade to the VIP brunch.
Wonderful, wonderful. And the other thing that I just mentioned too is, not only if you're feeding them, you're feeding their minds as well, right? And
yes.
their soul.
Oh, absolutely. And their soul. Their minds, their body, and their soul.
Get me jumped up here. But the other thing I want to also mention about this is, not only for, like, if you're beginning your business too, if you're in an advanced business, is they should be coming to this as well. Because oftentimes we think it's like, well, if I'm stuck in my business, it's because I don't have this widget or this software or this course, which may be true, but often it is, when you're hitting the same wall again and again and again, it is something that, well, it's because of my belief that I said I had in my kids, and that I thought that X was Y, and it was always in. And the only way you change that, right, is to reframe and to refocus and understanding what it is. But just like as a doctor, if you're having a cancer in there and all you're doing is treating the symptoms, right, you're not going to solve the problem, right? And I guess that's that's what you're getting to the point is here is this conference is going to help you find what is the true root of these problems and what can you do, and as you recognize it, what can you do to overcome that?
Yeah, because your affirmations and your declarations are definitely 10 times more powerful when you get to the root and remove the obstacles inside that are causing the breakdown.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we'll leave a link, guys. It's where you can go to get that. It's happening February 1st and 2nd, 2020 in
Brazelton, Georgia.
Brazelton, Georgia. Okay, okay, awesome, awesome. So go ahead and you can sign up today. And then I want to respect your time, and I know you've got a lot of things going on in here. We kind of teased it. Boot Camp 3, is it happening or what's going on?
Hey, look, I'm dragging you kicking and screaming into BootcampMD Live. I was like, Dr. Mike's gonna wish he never met me because
my goodness,
we're gonna be BootcampMD Live forever. We're gonna be our 10th annual BootcampMD Live if it's up to me.
All righty.
But yes, we are teaser. BootcampMD Live's coming up in the spring, the late spring of 2020. Shall I give them the dates to lock it in?
Ahead. Yep.
We said June, let me pull up my calendar, yo. June the 12th, hold on. Can we keep my calendar so I don't give y'all the wrong dates? Yes, 13th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So we're going to do another half day VIP day on the 12th. And we'll have the 13th and 14th as our main days. Lock it in for 2020. You don't want to miss it.
Yep, and we are having it Austin, Texas.
Yes,
everything is
Austin.
bigger in Texas. So,
everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah, it's my home away from home on there. So you really got no excuse, right, to attend it. We're giving you the dates, and of course, you're going to have more coming out when that's going to be announced, but you want to lock that in now. It's going to be amazing. And the other thing, too, is don't forget, we've got Maiysha's conference, February 2020, and we'll leave a link for that as well. And when it comes up, when we'll let you know when the Bootcamp MD2 recordings are available, and that's going to be coming up as well. So lots of things going on.
Yes.
It's the end of the year. It's 2020. I love that number. 2020 vision. Everything is. We want clarity. You want vision. This is the year to do it. If you are someone who said, someday you're stuck on someday I'll start a business. Someday I'll create my brand. Someday, I'll get out of my job right now that's causing me depression and it's causing me anxiety. Someday I'll improve my relationship. This is no more excuses, right? This is the time to do it. Invest in yourself. I know as doctors, we of course, we always think of others before ourselves. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but for many of us, we're doing it to our own detriment. It's time to invest in yourself, invest in your family, whether it's improve your business, improve your relationships. This is the time to do it. Any last minute moments or thoughts of inspiration that you could share with us today, dear Maiysha?
The only thing that I have to say is what I always say. 2020 is the year to get your mind right. You're going to have to bring it back. I have to bring that back.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but I just, once again, and I'm a gushy mushy doc here in Super Granola. So I always want to thank you and appreciate you for, being the partner that you have been over the last, several months as we've done boot camp, and being a virtual mentor and being inspiring, influencing me to grow. And looking forward to continuing to grow this whole Bootcamp MD live movement, as well as the mindset and manifestation movement as well. I think it's really, really important. And that we continue to empower our community to really step outside the box and really take hold of their career, their happiness, their fulfillment in their lives.
And I probably don't say it enough as I should have. And the same thing goes with you, how you've helped me personally break barriers and move on and help me become more gushy mushy. Gushy, no, just kidding. Just opening my eyes about what's available. I think it's been fantastic. I know we've worked, it's probably been in the last year, but it seems like we worked forever. It's been so awesome. So again, we've got amazing things coming up for all of you. You're thinking about the holidays and New Year. It's now, of course, it's going to be time of reflection, but it's also going to be time for growth. It's going to be time for inspiration. What are you going to do if you don't like the circumstance you are, what are you going to do to change that, right? You don't want to be in the same position year after year after year if you're not where you're at to be. And again, investing in yourself. Maiysha, I want to wish you a happy holidays. Have a great new year.
Yes.
And for you guys all listening, thank you so much. Thank you for being part of this group, this family, and keep moving forward.
That's right.
Well, all right. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I always have fun talking with Maiysha. And don't forget about her mind remapping and manifestation retreat that's happening on February 1st, 2020 in Georgia. There's a link to it in the show notes. And if you want to get a hold of the recordings of BootcampMD, it is available now. There's a link also where you can get access to that right now at a discounted price. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas and have a prosperous 2020.